treatment center's recommendation.
Okay. You got me a little bit lost here. You go into the treatment center in Florida. You come out.
Right here.
Nope. No, other side. There you go. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Judge. Jackie Mossfor, and on behalf of Mr. Heenan, who is present to my right.
And John Shea, Your Honor, is
All right. Okay. Mr. Heenan, and the record should reflect just briefly set it out that while we were waiting for the courtroom change, I had a bench conference with counsel, and given those discussions, Mr. Heenan was, prior to calling his case, sent over to Community Corrections to obtain a scram tether and also to take a full panel drug test. Went over, did that, came back a 0.10 on a PBT, could not have the scram tether put on because of that. And also came back in terms of his drug testing with a possible dilution in terms of the creatinine level. Came back positive for benzos, and came back for positives on benzos. Sir, you take Zoloft?
I do, sir.
All right. How long have you had that prescription?
Just started last night. I've taken it before, but I was in jail for 6 days, so I had to stop. And so then I started again. Oh, sorry. The new script is from 2 days ago. Sorry.
Hold on. You got a prescription for Zoloft 2 days ago?
Yes, Your Honor. I did. So rehab, I was in treatment and they gave me a packet of Zoloft. So I've been using that, but I needed more. So I called my primary care doctor and he prescribed, I think 30.
Okay. You had that prescription filled.
Yes, Your Honor. And
So
delivered.
hold on. I just need to back up for a moment because I'm trying to find out where you are right now and have a greater understanding. You were in rehab. When did you get out of rehab?
May 12th, I believe.
Okay. And when you got out of rehab, you had Zoloft.
Yes, they send you home with a 30-day supply.
And so at some point, then you ran out.
No, I still have some, but I needed to call my doctor anyway and tell him about this. And so I asked for a refill.
Okay. All right. Where were you in treatment?
West Palm Beach in, it's called Hanley. It's a very good treatment center.
To what?
A very, very good treatment center.
How long were you there?
I was originally 30 days, but I extended to 45 voluntarily.
Was there aftercare that was to follow that?
There was. So I have a therapist. The University of Michigan IOP can't take me for 6 months because I missed
Okay.
an appointment, and that's
Because you missed an appointment with them?
yes, and that's their policy.
Yeah. So since you missed that, have you been doing anything? Because you were supposed to go and do intensive outpatient,
Yes,
right? So at the point that you're supposed to go into intensive outpatient, you find out that you can't get in at U of M. What do you do?
So I have SoberLink, and my kids have a GAL. So I'm required to do multiple AA meetings a day.
Okay, but I get that. But in terms of an IOP, I mean, oh, sorry. But go ahead if you want to try.
Oh, I've reached out to Brighton. They have an IOP program. It's on Zoom though. And I
Did you
think
get enrolled?
I can.
Well, no. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. All right. And so I'm asking you these questions for a reason. I'm not asking you to try to trick you into anything. I'm just trying to figure out, like I said, where you are.
Sure.
So you get out of treatment. Part of the aftercare on the treatment program that you're in is that you were supposed to get yourself into an IOP, right?
Your Honor, that was part of the condition. Also the sober link and one AA meeting a day.
Hold on. On whose condition?
Oh, the treatment center's recommendation.
Okay. You got me a little bit lost here. You go into the treatment center in Florida. You come out. They're basically, upon discharging you or releasing you from that, they're putting into place or give you a plan, an aftercare plan, right?
Yep.
Part of that aftercare plan was you were to get yourself into intensive outpatient treatment,
Yes, Your Honor.
right? Their recommendation was something here local at University of Michigan, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were supposed to call them, but missed that somehow and or another. And then, as per their policy, you can't get in for a while.
6 months.
Right. After all that happens, what do you do instead of, I don't want to put it that way. What do you then do? Nothing? You didn't get yourself into any type of treatment program, is that right?
I found a therapist and no, I did not find an IOP. Your Honor.
Okay. Let me just ask you, and I won't hold you to it only because I know you've been drinking, but why didn't you do that? Honest answer.
Sometimes I feel like AA is more effective because I've done an IOP program before and it's on Zoom. And sometimes I feel like AA and SoberLink is more helpful, especially in person AA.
Okay. Not yelling at you, but I'm just going to tell you, if you could figure it out yourself, you wouldn't be in the position that you're in right now, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
If it went just on your feelings of what you thought was best, we wouldn't be here dealing with this part of this, would we?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's why you have other people kind of guide you as to what you really need to do. I also have a feeling that the program that you laid out for yourself, while you think effective, is actually just easier than doing the IOP because an IOP can be difficult.
I desperately wanted that Michigan IOP 9 to 1 Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I just screwed it up.
Right. But then you also then didn't put anything in place once you had messed up.
Right.
And in fact, if you're going to be honest about it, the stuff that you put in place was just easier stuff so that you could say you're doing something.
That's fair, Your Honor.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it for a while. And that's why you weren't going to go into the IOP.
It was the easier path.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Heenan, let me ask you this. You blew a 1-0. When did you stop drinking? When's the last time you had a drink?
So about 4, I woke up and my hands were shaking. So I drank some high noon. And then at
How
7,
much high noon did you have?
just enough till my hands stopped shaking.
Okay, what's that? Tell me what that means.
Like for me, it's like 4 to 6. And then at 7 this morning, when the liquor stores open, I had a DoorDash delivery of more high noon. And I drank again until my hands stopped shaking.
And how much did you have that time?
Your Honor, honestly, I just kept drinking until my hands stopped shaking. It was a 4-pack.
Okay, it was a 4-pack.
High noon comes in 4-pack.
Right. And so did you drink them all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And how long did that take you?
I chugged.
Okay. So that DoorDash delivery at 7, that was the last you had?
Yes, and my hands were shaking, so I've got a bunch of empties, and this is how desperate I was. I would pick up all the empties on my table and see if there were sips. And there was one that was like that full, and I chugged that as well. It wasn't.
What? Hold on.
Sorry.
What time did you do that?
It was between 7 and 8 because I knew I had this coming.
Okay.
I didn't want to come in under the influence.
So at 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock till I don't know what time we first called your case. Well, when you went over to community corrections, so that was around 3 o'clock, maybe somewhere around there. Between 8 and 3, did you have anything to drink?
No, Your Honor. It was 2:30 at community corrections.
Okay, at 2:30. But so when you chug that half to 2:30, you didn't have anything to drink.
No, Your Honor. Last night I drank quite a bit though. Basically I lost my boys in a dispute, and I've been on a bender.
Okay. So, Mr. Heenan, I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm trying to figure out where you are and trying to, when you say you've been on a bender, what were you drinking the night before and how much?
White Claw. I drank, gosh, probably 15.
Okay. And that would have been last night sometime. When you say that you stopped about 4, you said, or something like that?
I woke up at 4.
You woke up at 4. So yesterday you were drinking White Claw. You had about 15
Yes, Your Honor.
for over just that day, that evening.
All day. Yeah.
Okay. And at some point you stopped drinking. Either you passed out or you just stopped.
Yeah. No, I
You
felt
probably passed out.
passed out, Your Honor.
Yeah. And then you woke up at 4.
Yep.
And then you needed something else.
Yeah, my hands were
Right. I get why. But you needed something else, and that's when you got the other stuff. Or you already had that.
I already had it.
Okay.
I White Claw and High Noon. I usually when I'm sober, I'm a fit person. I run marathons and stuff. So High Noon and White Claw are the lowest calorie drinks.
Okay. And so then you switched to the High Noon and you did that, right?
Chugged them.
You're Heenan. Do you think you're in trouble? I mean, just not with the court. I'm not talking about with the court, but just with you and your sobriety.
I do. I have 16 years of sobriety. So I know I can do it. I'm just having a hard time right now with this divorce and losing the kids. And just life is hard right now. I had to resign my job I loved. It's just been a rough.
Okay, so right now you're also not working.
I had to resign to go to treatment.
All right. So here's what I'm just gonna let you know that you're gonna be staying at the Washington County Jail. Temporarily revoke your bond. Okay. Now, I'm not doing that necessarily as a punishment, but I have no way to release you and keep the community nor you safe. Okay. And I'll just ask you this. You're gonna come back tomorrow, okay? And I'm gonna set that for 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. When you come back, and I may ask you this tomorrow, but I want to know right now, what would you like to see happen right now for you?
I would like it to scram, tether, and start taking antabuse.
Okay, Mr. Heenan, is that what you really would like to see happen?
I need some accountability, yes.
Okay, but you also need some help.
Right. I agree. I do have a sponsor. I
Have you called your sponsor? No, you haven't. Hold it. Answer my question. Have you called your sponsor?
No, I was too embarrassed.
Yeah. And the reason that you want the scram and the antabuse is because those are sort of easy things that I can do out of sight. Okay.
I don't.
You don't have to answer that.
Okay.
Okay. Because I know what's going on. I've been doing this a minute. Okay. Between now and tomorrow morning, here's the thing that you're going to have to do. You're going to need to do the hard work. This isn't going to be easy. And you have to get in your head, because you've done it before, but you have to get in your head that there's not going to be an easy path. This is going to be a hard path for you. And I think you really do know that inside. You just don't want it to come out. People don't come to me whenever they're before me and ask me, give me a hard way to go, Judge. They don't do that. Right? So I'm not expecting you to necessarily say that to me. I'm just telling you, this isn't going to be this easy path, this shortcut. And you got to wrap your head around that. Right? You just have to understand that. So we're going to try to get something in place for you, because let me put it this way. If I let you out right now, you don't make it through the night without drinking. And you know that.
Not with the scram.
I could put that scream on you. You're going to drink.
I spent.
No, you're going to drink.
Okay.
That scram is not a magic bullet. It's not going to stop you. The only thing that scram is going to do, quite frankly, where you are, the only thing the scram is going to do is just tell on you. It's not going to stop you from drinking. Realize that you pounded down 15 White Claws, and then you did 4, then that wasn't enough, and you had to call somebody to bring you more alcohol. Do you think a thing around your ankle is going to stop you after that? No, it's not.
Jail was really hard for me.
I know.
So that alone would stop me.
For a while.
I understand.
But you're going to go tonight, and then we're going to see you tomorrow morning. And Mr. Heenan, you'll never, well, maybe one day you'll understand it. I'm not doing it to be mean. I don't want to lose you. And I know if I let you out of here, there's a good chance we're going to lose you. Probable cause conference will be adjourning. I'll just also call it a bond hearing. What is tomorrow, the 3rd? July 3rd, 2024 at 10 a.m. At this time, defendant bond is revoked. Let's reset it tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right.
Reproach him.
Yes, you can. Or 18 stands adjourned. Court does call the case of the people versus Wesley Walton.
Yeah, this is a PDK.
Who is? Got it.
Wesley Walton.
Good afternoon, Rebecca Tieppo, P 62311, on behalf of Mr. Walton, who is, I believe he's present in the court.
Yes, he is. All right. What are we doing on this?
Mr. Walton indicates that he would like to waive his preliminary exam at this time.
Is that correct, young man?
Yes.
You understand that a preliminary examination is a proceeding where the people would have to show by probable cause that the offense alleged was committed and that you committed it.
Yes.
You understand that by waiving that proceeding, you'll not have that hearing and you'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes.
People also waive their right. Preliminary examination having been waived, defendant is bound over to circuit court on a single count. Counsel, as to the circuit court arraignment,
Waive the formal reading, stand mute, Your Honor.
defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial in this matter will be set
August 20th at 1:30 before Judge Funky.
August 20th, 2024, 1:30 before Judge Conkey.
Okay, that sounds good.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. Bond will continue. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Court calls the case, people versus Taylor Walden.
Okay. Assistant Public Defender, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Assistant Public Defender Hannah Apple appearing on behalf of Mr. Walden. Mr. Walden, will you state your name for the record?
Taylor Walden.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we're asking for an adjournment on this matter.
Okay, and what are we trying to do with this?
I met with him for like 2 or 3 minutes the first day.
Who was? There was some miscommunication about our office withdrawing. Our office is not withdrawn, so we need some time to talk with Mr. Walden.
He wasn't really sure if he was going to be my first.
Okay. So if we could come back in a couple weeks, Your Honor.
All right. Probable cause conference adjourned July 18th.
July 18th.
Yes. 2024, 9 a.m. or as your invite indicates. Bond will continue.
Thank you.
What time was it again? I'm sorry.
Well, I've set it at 9, but you'll get an invite from our office that will put you into a time block.
Okay.
Okay. So it's important to keep in contact with your attorneys. They'll let you know what time your case is.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yep. Court does call the case of the people versus Jerry Weisinger.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm Special Assistant Attorney General Mitchell Wood for the people.
Good afternoon, sir.
Assistant Public Defender Hannah Apple appearing on behalf of Mr. Weisinger. Mr. Weisinger, can you please state the record?
Jerry Oscar Weisinger.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we are asking for a 2 to 3 week adjournment. We need to do some further investigation into this case and have some more discussions with my client as well as the Attorney General.
How long did you need? I'm sorry.
If we could have 3 weeks.
No objection from people.
Judge, no objection. That should push us in, if we push into August, because my only comment, Judge, is that the defendant hasn't paid any child support in quite a while. He's bonded out, which is great, and we haven't really had discussions about whether he wants to pay that bond over the child support case, but he does need, starting this month, to pay his ongoing child support as ordered. It's currently set at $711 per month for 2
711
children.
per month.
711 per month, and again, he hasn't paid since 21, and that was through an unemployment. There's no voluntary payment showing up on this case, and it's a 2016 child support case.
Okay,
We were
I
just
have,
34,000.
so that that all counsel is aware. I have a note from the case management clerk at 15th District Court that a check, which I'm sure was his bond, in the amount of $4,241 was delivered today to the front of the court on behalf of the defendant. So I think his bond has gotten over there.
That's good, Judge. I appreciate that. I would note that when we charged him back in 2018, a long time ago, his rearage was just under 17,000. Today it's over 25% of the current outstanding rearage. We're not asking for a modification. That bond has been paid over. That's a good start. Miss Apple, we have, right?
Yes.
Should speak with Sarah Brenner. I'm just covering this for the AG today. She is the attorney of record. If she's got any discussion she wants to have, she should speak with Miss Brenner. But again, we certainly expect that the defendant will pay his ongoing support beginning this month, even though even though the bond got paid over, that's kind of a different matter. He needs to pay his ongoing support each month going forward.
Well, and what I'm a bit concerned about, well, there was not then a payment. Well, is there going to be a payment to the current charges in July?
Your Honor, I haven't spoken with my client about this.
Okay, so, right, I gotcha. But here's the reality is his bond should be at 25% of what the current arrearage is. They took the arrearage off of the complaint.
Yes.
Kind of a windfall for him in a sense,
Yes.
because he didn't have to pay as much to get out. But what I need to know is, particularly before granting an adjournment, is there going to be a payment in July? Because those funds, although it got applied to the account today, was really paid in June.
Understood. If I can have a moment to.
I'll pass it.
Okay.
Because, and I don't mean to say it as a threat. I mean, I'm just going to follow what the statute says. And I get what the Attorney General's position is. But either I got to allow that bond to just stand where it is and have payments made as part of his bond.
Understood.
Or I've just got to relook at the whole thing and reset it at 25% of what's going to be about 35,000 less what he's already paid.
Understood. And just to be clear, Mr. Attorney General, that amount of his current payment is $711.
Yeah.
$711.
Okay.
The current arrearage is $34,638. And I just did the math. It would be $86.59, 25%. But again, as long as he's agrees to pay as ordered this month, I'm not asking for a bond modification at this point, Your Honor. If Ms. Brenner decides to do that, she can do that. I'm not asking for that now.
I know you're not asking, but the court can do what it needs to do also. But I understand you're not asking. I'm just saying I want.
Yeah, if we could pass this.
I'll pass.
Explain that.
I'll pass it, Bridget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just take a seat for a moment. I'll talk to him.
Court does call the case of the People versus Troy Swope.
Assistant Public Defender Hannah Apple appearing on behalf of Mr. Swope. Now, Mr. Swope, will you please state your name for the record?
Troy Swope. Thank you.
Your Honor, if we could have this set for a preliminary exam.
Discovery is complete.
To our knowledge, yes.
Would the people have their witnesses available the 16th?
That's fine.
Preliminary examination in person, July 16th, 2024, 9 a.m. That is in person before Judge Freshour. Bond will continue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Court does call the case, the People versus Lawrence Turner.
Assistant Public Defender Hannah Apple appearing on behalf of Mr. Turner. Mr. Turner, you are. Thank you. If you could state your name for the record.
Lawrence Turner.
Your Honor, if the court recalls, we previously adjourned. Mr. Turner was in the middle of entering a plea. There was some question regarding his probation out of county. He did reach out and leave several messages. He didn't hear from his probation agent. However, he received a letter in the mail from his probation agent indicating that they were going to be recommending a discharge from probation, successful discharge. That has not happened yet. So I would ask for another adjournment so he can either get verification or that can take place as to not interfere with his plea.
So did they didn't give a time frame on it,
Mr. Turner, did that notice have another court date or just a
No.
date for you to meet with your probation agent?
There wasn't even a date to appear anymore. Usually there is a date to appear, but there wasn't even a date on there to appear. It was kind of like a different format. It wasn't the same one that I was used to getting. So they had no date, no appear here at the court proceeding above with an address. It was more so just for speaking on the release.
Okay, so Your Honor, if we could have a couple
Oh.
of weeks just to ensure.
How long have you been on probation? Is it a district court case or a felony or misdemeanor?
Misdemeanor.
Okay, and when did you get put on probation? You recall?
Yeah, January of last year.
Okay, so it might be. For how long was your probation?
1 year. I just had to get it extended 3 months to take care of the classes, but I finished the classes and the 90-day period for the extension is up as well.
Let's do this then there's no objection. I'll adjourn your probable cause to August 1st, 2024, 9 a.m. or as your invite indicates. Let's hope they get something done in 30 days for you. Okay.
Mr. Turner,
Gotcha.
follow up with
Yeah.
probation, please, because we'll need to have that done by then. by
Yeah, I'm
August
going
1st.
up there
Thank
right
you.
now, actually. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Court calls the case, People versus Thomas Vanicelli.
Public Defender Hannah Apple appearing on behalf of Mr. Vanicelli. Will you please state your name for the record?
Thomas Vanicelli.
Thank you. Your Honor, my understanding is there was a misdemeanor offer extended. If we could have an adjournment to discuss that further with Mr. Vanicelli before proceeding.
Cause conference, July 18th, 2024, 9 a.m. or as your invite indicates. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Have a good day. Court does call the case, Other People versus Gerald Williams.
মজা হয়েছে
অসাধারণ হয়েছে। এই এ মেয়ে কি করে?
ওই তুই ওরে দেখ চমকাই উঠছিস কেলা ওর নাম লাইলি আর আজকে সব ওই রান্না করছে
কি?
হ্যাঁ আম্মা জান আমার পোলা কথা কইছিলাম না
ইস এরকম জঘন্য রান্না আমি জিন্দেগি দেখাই নাই।
খালাম্মা, আরে এত ভারী ব্যাগ আপনি কেন টানতেছেন? আমারে দেন, আমারে দেন।
থাক আম্মা জান থাক আমি তো পারতাছি
আরে সমস্যা না, আপনার বাসার সামনে না, আমি আগা দিতেছি, চলেন।
তুমি কে মা আমি তো চিন্তা পারতেছি না কোনখানে বাসা
আমার সামনের মহল্লা বাসা। আমার নাম লাইলি।
ও লাইলি তুমি কি আমার চিনো?
জি না খালাম্মা, আসলে আপনি তো আমার মায়ের বয়সী, বুঝছেন না? তা আমার মা যদি এরকম বাজারে ব্যাগ টানতো আমি তো দিতাম না, আমি লয়ে নিতাম।
ও আচ্ছা
তো খালাম্মা আপনার কোনো পোলা মায়া নাই?
আছে তো আমার একমাত্র পোলা আছে।
তো চ্যাংড়া পোলা থাকতে আপনার বাজারে যেতে হয় গেলা?
তুমি যে কি কও, তুমি কিন্তু খুব ভালো কথা কইছো। আমি আসলে বাসায় দিকে তো মাঝে মাঝে নিজে হাট বাজার করি। তা আম্মা জান তুমি কেমনে জানলা আমার পোলা চ্যাংড়া?
ও আপনার বয়স দেখে আন্দাজ করছি আর কি, আপনার পোলা চ্যাংড়াই হবো। এইটা আপনার বাচ্চা?
হ্যাঁ এই যে আশা পড়ছে, আমার বাসায় আশা পড়ছে। যাও তুমি এত কষ্ট করছো, একটু চা পানি খিলাও।
না না আজকে না, খালাম্মা আরেকদিন আসুন।
আচ্ছা
আপনি নিশ্চয়ই কষ্ট পাইছেন তাই না? কষ্ট পাইলে মানে আপনি কইছেন আমারে, আমি যদি না যাই তাহলে তো খারাপ দেখে। তো আজকেই যাই তাহলে,
চলো আচ্ছা বাজান
বাহ
কি আম্মা জান?
আপনার বাসা খালাম্মা খুব সুন্দর, আপনার বাসা।
ও আমি তো ভাবতেছিলাম তুমি আমার ছেলের কথা কইতাছো। মাশাআল্লাহ আমার ছেলে সুন্দর আছে না?
আছে আর কি, ওই আছে।
আচ্ছা আম্মা জান তুমি কি খাইবা? তোমার কি পছন্দ?
আপনার পোলাই কি পছন্দ করে?
ও তো যা পায় তাই খায়।
চাপাই তাই খায়, তার অবশ্য দেখে বুঝে যায়।
কিছু কইতাছো?
না খালাম্মা কিছু কইতেছি না, মানে কইতে চাইছি যে সবার তো একটা প্রিয় খাদ্য থাকে, তারটা কি?
হ্যাঁ আছে তো, গরুর গোস্ত। গরুর গোস্ত পাইলে তো মাথায় ঠিক থাকে না, খুবই পছন্দের।
আচ্ছা কইতেছেন, আমারও গরুর গোস্ত খুব পছন্দ।
ঠিক আছে আম্মাজান, তুমি বসো, গরুর গোস্তে রান্না করবো, দুপুরে সাথে মিলে একসাথে খামু।
আরে আমি এখানে একা একা বসে কি করবো খালাম্মা, আমি যাই আপনারে সাহায্য করি একটু।
মাশাআল্লাহ, কি লক্ষ্মী মাইয়া। আসো আসো।
মা মাংস যা হয়েছে না,
মজা হয়েছে?
অসাধারণ হয়েছে। এই এ মেয়ে কি করে?
ওই তুই ওরে দেখ চমকাই উঠছিস কেলা? ওর নাম লাইলি, আর আজকে সব ওই রান্না করছে।
কি?
হ্যাঁ আম্মা জান, আমার পোলা কথা কইছিলাম না?
ইস, এরকম জঘন্য রান্না আমি জিন্দেগি দেখাই নাই।
কি কইতাছস? একটু কি কইলি অসাধারণ, এখন কইতাছস ফালতু। মাথা গেছে নাকি?
খালাম্মা আমার মনে হয় গরমে মাথা গিলু গইলা গেছে গা।
তাই মেয়ে, তোমার সাহস তো কম না, তুমি এনে কেন আসছো?
খালাম্মা আপনার সামনে আমরা ধমকাইতেছে।
ওই তুই ওরে দামগাছ গেলা? হ্যাঁ ও আইছে তো কি হয়েছে? তোর কোনো সমস্যা আছে? ও জানোস না আজকে আমার এই রান্না বান্না কত সাহায্য করছে?
জানতে চাই না, ওরা এখনই বাড়ি থেকে বাইরে যেতে বলো।
কি কথা চস? এত কিছু কষ্ট করে রান্না করে মাইটা না খাইয়ে চলে যাবো?
ও যদি এখান থেকে না যায় আমি বাইরে যাবো এখন।
খালাম্মা তোর মাথা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে গা, আমি বরং আজকে যাই, আপনি থাকেন খান, আমি আরেকদিন এসে খামুনি।
আমার জান, তুই এটা কি করলি? মা এটা খালি মুখে বিতে দিলি?
তুমি ওরে চিনো না আম্মা, খুব ডেঞ্জারাস।
আমার চিনার দরকার নেই, তুই বেশি করে খা।
তোর খামুই না।
Assistant Public Defender Hannah Apple appearing on behalf of Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, will you state your name for the record?
Joe Renee Williams.
Thank you.
No.
Your Honor, we are asking for an adjournment today. Mr. Williams and our office has not been able to get in contact. I called, I think maybe it was your sister or someone yesterday left
Why
him.
do y'all keep calling that house? I don't need cell phone. I have cell. I've
Okay.
given it to my lawyer.
I will update that in the file. That was not in our file. So I will make sure that we have an updated phone number so that we can speak prior to the next court date.
July 25th, 2024, 9 a.m.
All I would do is like wave my whatever he just get this stuff over.
Sir, I mean, you can do what you want to do, but you might want to, I'm going to suggest to you that you might want to talk with your attorneys before rushing through. I gave it a little bit more time so you could fully discuss it. But because right now, if you just wave up on it and do everything without any agreement, you got a 10-year and 2 5 years. I don't know that you want that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So sometimes it's better to take the time, let them do their work
And
and
I'll
see what can come out of it for you.
Yes.
From the file.
please.
Okay. Can you, let's step over here. Can you give me your?
July 25th, 2024, 9, or as your invite indicates, bound continue. Thank you. Court calls the case People versus Ronald Woodard.
Mr. Public Mr. Ronald Woodard, who should be on Zoom.
I'm here. Ronald Woodard.
You're here?
Ronald Evans Woodard. Yes, sir.
State your name again, sir.
Ronald Evans Woodard.
Okay. All right, what do we do?
Your Honor, we are still in negotiations with the people. We're hopeful that we'd be able to reach a resolution. He has been accepted.
Go ahead, Ray.
He has been accepted into the 14B Recovery Court. The people just need to confirm whether or not they're on board with a misdemeanor plea.
Right, we still need to consult what it looking.
Got it.
Consult with the victim.
How much time would that?
If we could go 2 weeks.
Let's go 7:25.
Thank you, Your Honor.
2024, 9 a.m. or as your invite indicates, bound continue. That's on
Thank
both
you, Your Honor.
cases. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's like a perfect angle. As opposed to that far reach around. Okay, I'm gonna leave you alone. Okay, so you need to go chat with him, and then I'm also got the other matter that I've got where he's testing. So court is standing in brief recess. No, that's okay. Everybody can have a seat. Sit down. Sentencing. No, you did good.
They District Court for County of Washington, Michigan is now back in session. The Honorable Judge that accepts the preside.
Not the right range, huh? All right, you may be seated. I'm sorry. All right, let's try to get this one done. Recall the case of People versus Weisinger.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Assistant Public Defender Hannah Apple appearing on behalf of Mr. Weisinger again. Mr. Weisinger, will you please state your name for the record?
Jay Weisinger.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor, for that opportunity to speak with my client. He does inform me that he is going to the monthly obligation payment of $711. He will make that this month. I informed him to reach out to, I did want to confirm, should he be making that to friend of the court?
Yes.
He should be making it directly to the friend of the court.
Okay, that was what my clarification. So I advised him on getting that set up and getting that payment taken care of for the month of July. So we would ask the bond continue, and that Mr. Weisinger be given the opportunity to make those monthly obligations from out of custody.
Do you have an idea, sir, when you'll make that payment?
The 30th, July 30th.
Okay, so what I will do is I'll adjourn this, then you wanted some time, so I'll adjourn it to August 1st.
Thank you.
That way we'll know. 2024, 9 a.m. or as your invite indicates, his bond will continue. I'm adding a condition that defendant is to pay $711 or his monthly obligation to the friend of the court until further order of this court. And that his first payment will be July 30th.
Thank you.
That's it.
And I don't know if this should be directed to the Mr. Attorney General, but Mr. Weisinger had some concerns regarding his license and that he needed proof that payments were being made. His license currently suspended due to the arrears. Contact the Secretary of State. Is that something once he makes that payment that can be, restriction can be lifted?
Judge, he's going to have to speak to the front of the court. They do.
Yeah.
License.
They're the ones that did it.
Okay, understood. I will advise him to do that. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Your
Judge.
Honor.
And I assume the AG may once again appear via Zoom, Judge, for that August 1st
Yes,
matter?
absolutely.
It's entirely possible. If he pays on July 30th, it won't show up yet, but just have him have a receipt and that'll be fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Ms. Apple.
Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. Detective Roberts? Sorry to keep you waiting. Everything went. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the one affidavit is true to the best knowledge, information, belief? Yes, sir. Court does call the case of People State of Michigan versus Peter Heenan.